Merry Meet Annie here. It seems just yesterday that I was waiting for the sun to rise on the solstice. What about you? Has this season flown by or eased by for you? Here we are at the start of something new. Here we are at the beginning of what is beginning in the world and what we are becoming aligned to that. Here we are at the place where the slightest of motion attends the shifting illumination of the world. There's a mantra that's beginning to hum through my days, that of anticipation. Part of my reflection for today takes the form of a quote from Stephen L. Peck in his book, A Short Stay in Hell. Anticipation is a gift. Perhaps there is none greater. Anticipation is born of hope. Indeed, it is hope's finest expression. What's the shift for you from Yule into Imbolc? For me, the rebirth of the sun encouraged me to explore hope and faith, and now, to anticipate that something will come from that. Perhaps even more deeply, that I have a responsibility to see that something comes from that. And the comfort in this moment is I don't even need to know what the that is. There is a definition for anticipation, which is what we do to prepare in advance for something. That's not where this reflection goes in this ending of the season of Yule. In an article on pathos.com by Greg Richardson on the power of anticipation, he describes it as our experience of expectant waiting for something. We feel anticipation as we look forward to something we desire. That captures the hinge, the importance of this moment for me. The first rising of desire, that would be it. And it's quite fine not to know where that will lead me. This is not yet about the future. It is about the delightfully teasing, tempting, and alluring possibility of it, though. The second part of my reflection for the day comes from a transcript of a service by Unitarian Universalist minister Peter Friedrichs. I found it when I was searching for some bits I wanted to use in a sermon that I was actually giving. His sermon is entitled Sweet Anticipation, and the entire sermon can be found on questformeaning.org. From Peter. Perhaps we might learn to wait more like a tree in winter. If we waited like a tree, we might give ourselves over to our dreams and not force their arrival too soon. The first thing a tree does is to let go and to stand silent. Shedding its leaves, the tree lays itself bare and opens itself to possibility. Paul Tillich, the Christian theologian, tells us that there are two kinds of waiting: the passive waiting in laziness and the receiving waiting in openness. He says that waiting in openness demands patience, and patience demands stillness within oneself. The act of waiting that Paul Tillich describes, the receiving waiting in openness, to use his words, asks us to be both intimately connected to the here and now, appreciating fully what we have in our current state, and at the same time to be fully expectant of what is to come, hope-filled and hopeful. It's a tricky balancing act, like having one foot on the dock and the other in the canoe. Our task during this time of the year and all year long is to embrace the both and of our existence, to expectantly anticipate and work to form our futures, that which is to come, while we also live fully and faithfully in the present tense, embracing the darkness with passionate patience. I personally have indeed embraced the darkness. Oh, how I embraced it. I never need to be encouraged to go there. And now I'm feeling that openness of waiting. That's part of that experience. My third reflection for the day comes from Winnie the Pooh. He had a very Pooh-like comment regarding the moment before, right before he began eating his honey. Although eating honey is a very good thing to do, there's a moment just before you begin to eat it, which is, well, better than where you were. That's how I feel at the end of this season of Yule. Fully here and now, and at the same time anticipating whatever is to come. This moment, before whatever that is, well, it's a bit better than where I was. Anticipation leads me to believe it'll get even better from here. I wish you all mirth and reverence late in this season of Yule. Merry part.